So the very important thing, we have heard it everywhere probably, from the teachers, from the parents, from motivational speakers, and from everyone, that you need to have a very certain and a very defined goal in life. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि where do you want to go. If you don't know where do you want to go, that's a really risky situation because you're going somewhere and you really don't know where do you want to go. आपको पता ही नहीं है आपको कहाँ जाना. The problem with today's youth is that they are hustling in every direction. Okay, so they really don't have a certain goal defined in life. Because I've met a lot of youth for this volunteering activity, and I see that they're really misguided. उनको यही नहीं पता होता कि where do they want to go. Because if you will always live in the present, the only problem will be that you won't be able to judge the impact of the activities that you're doing today in your future. And when you will be truly goal oriented, every activity, every action that you will take today will be for the ultimate goal that you will have to reach. So that's the point.
A very good evening, everyone present over here. Today, I, Smiksha from Inspired by Dreams Foundation, is extremely happy to introduce our today's guest to you all, who is none other than Abhishek Anand. He is founder of one NGO which is working in the sector of environment, health, and much more. So, more to know about him and the working of NGO in this session. ही फ्रॉम पटना बिहार. सो सर हम लोग जो अपनी बातें हैं विल ट्राई टू कीप इट इन हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश. तो सबसे पहले सर आप अपने बारे में कुछ बताइए कि लाइक हाउ डिड ऑल स्टार्टेड, एनजीओ कैसे सोचा.
Okay, so I'm from Patna, Bihar, and I'm from a middle class background. Okay, so the thing is that I'm an engineer, BTech in civil engineering from KIIT University, Bhubaneswar. So when I was in college, I used to do a lot of work for NSS, NSS builders, society में काफी सारे social work थी. तो वहाँ से थोड़ा सा कनेक्शन था कि हाँ अंडर प्रिविलेज को नीचे जाना है, कम्युनिटी में चेंजेस लाने का कोशिश करना है, कैटलिस्ट की तरह काम करना है ताकि हम लोग जो भी चेंजेस हो रहे हैं उनको थोड़ा स्पीड में कर सकें. तो वहाँ पे आइडियाज तो था थोड़ा थोड़ा. फिर फॉर्चुनेटली व्हेन आई गॉट प्लेस्ड इन अ कंपनी, आई वाज वर्किंग इन मुंबई. मुंबई इज अ वेरी फ्लैशी सिटी, बड़े लाइफस्टाइल, लोग इधर से उधर भाग रहे हैं. दे केप्ट रनिंग फॉर 24 आवर्स, मतलब रात को भी जा रहे. तो द सिटी इज गोइंग ऑन एंड ऑन. Then I decided like this is fine. The people who are at a certain position, they can run all day, they can earn all day. But what about the people who are suffering? And ये problem उनकी वजह से नहीं. It's because somewhere the government is lacking, somewhere the people are lacking to provide them moral or emotional support. So why should we not be a change maker or a mediator who can connect the linkages between underprivileged and privileged community? So वहाँ से ये idea आया कि apart from the job, I can also start working on making some social work as a background or social work foundations. And then slowly they kept the foundation of this organization.
Right, sir. So, like, what does your NGO particularly works on? If you can just tell us a little more about the same.
Okay, so we are working in 3 major sectors. Also, like we do not have a very hard and fast rule that we are working in only 3 sectors. If and when required, we diversify ourselves also according to the needs of the situation. So, but our priority sector is always only 3. The first one is education, the second one is health, and the third one is environment. So, in education, what we do is हम slums में जाते हैं, and then we talk to their parents कि what kind of education your kid is involved in. So generally वो बताते हैं that वो सरकारी स्कूल में जाते हैं. And this is a very unfortunate reality of our state Bihar, that the government school, the complete education system here is not up to the mark. So whenever we hear that someone is going to a sarkari school, we are certainly on the setback. If he was sarkari school जा रहा है, then he is certainly not getting appropriate education. So वहाँ पे हमारा रोल आ जाता है. So in education, what we do is we have a very thoroughly designed foundational course in which हम बच्चे लोग को पढ़ाते हैं कि how to behave when someone comes and greets you, how do you basic manners of life, then English, mathematics, Hindi, and everything related to foundation according to the new education policy. And then when they are ready to cross the foundation, we guide them, and then when we screen them and we see that अब ये foundation भी ready हो चुके हैं, then we find out some sponsors, like there are some jewelry shops, there are some electronic brands, and then people are there जो उनके हायर एजुकेशन को स्पॉन्सर करते हैं. लाइक वी डू नॉट प्रेफर दैट दे गो टू गवर्नमेंट स्कूल. Yes, government school has certain benefits, but at the same time, our education system in this particular state needs a major overhaul. Only then we will start trusting them. That's why we plan to send them to private schools, good private schools, but only through the method of sponsorship, and that's how we get them engaged in a formal education. Also, in the education only, sector only, we have a major activity that is drug rehabilitation because in our city or in all of the state, what happens is that very small children, like in the age group of 5 to 7 and 7 to 9, they are involved in drugs. So that is something which is really horrific. I mean, क्या ही है 7 साल के बच्चे 9 साल के बच्चे ड्रग्स कर रहे हैं एंड दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच वी कांट रियली इमेजिन कि हम अपने बचपन में क्या ही करते थे हाउ इनोसेंट वर वी एंड व्हाट आर दे. So we slowly try to bring them into the formal education channel by providing certain benefits that we will, when we'll do some birthday project, we will give you some edibles to eat. We will let you enjoy whenever we took the kids out for some kind of exploration activities or movie screenings or something like that. We take them also. ताकि उनको समझ में आए कि this drug sector has no incentives, whereas when you get involved in this formal education sector, there are a lot of benefits. So this is all about education. In health, the very basic thing that we do is only awareness because our state lacks a lot in awareness. People know very little about the formal government schemes and things. So we constantly try to make them aware that ये government की ये सरकारी योजनाएं हैं आप इसमें participate कीजिए. If you are facing certain difficulties, you can let us know that we will connect with the government officials and then they will help you out. So health is all about that. And in environment sector, we are working. I'll say that we are the maximum work that we are or the efforts we are putting in is in the environment sector because first of all we have crossed around 85 weeks of lunar freedom drive. For the last 85 weeks, we have been going every Sunday to the banks of River Ganga and we are clearing it. But now we have started to manage those particular waste and also we are trying to collaborate with the municipal corporation here and other kind of activities like setting up a material recovery facility and wet waste composting there to things like these because we believe that in environment the one major work that you can do is manage your waste because somehow we'll have to be very circular about waste. What we are generating is something that we will have to manage. That shouldn't go to landfill. So that's our motto and that's what the maximum work we are doing is in this sector environment. And why we have kept these sectors as priority? Because they are highly intertwined. I'll say that वो लोग आपस में बहुत ज्यादा connected है. Because in education we teach them about health also, we teach them about environment also, we teach them about their waste also. Environment and health are closely linked because अगर environment के क्या है कि अगर आप अपनी waste को manage नहीं कर रहे होंगे then certainly that waste will create health problems. And when you are healthy, you can manage simultaneously your education and environment both. So these sectors are highly interlinked and that's why these are these sectors.
Ji sir. Since you have been working on such diverse issues, because there are some NGOs and there are some people who specify themselves to a particular stream, for example, education. So, first of all, Evan, personally, I just want to ask, how do you manage? Because I guess for working of any NGO, we would be requiring certain funds, even if they are conducting any single activity. So, in that regard, how do you manage to get the funds? And secondly, that although you are saying that the idea came when you just saw and it just struck your mind, but taking such a decision when you were already earning, you were at a good position, you would have been questioned by many that what happened, it's okay, you can do it in a little way, but why are you opening a particular NGO only? So how did you tackle with those and what was something which motivated you throughout?
Okay. So first of all, the fund issue is that we have a lot of usually engineers have a specific quality of having a large number of friends. So college से ही network काफी strong था. We had diverse connection in many engineering departments of because I was from the civil background. Then we have contacts in every department, mechanical, electronics, CSE, IT, and a lot. So when I started this organization, मैंने post डालना शुरू किया that we have started this initiative and we need certain funds for particular kind of things because the very unfortunate reality of this organization is that we started in February 2020 and in March 2020 lockdown was announced and we were like we thought that we क्या हो गया अचानक से. We just started working and now there is lockdown. We can't go out of the home. We can't meet people. So it was certainly a very new thing for everyone. Lockdown कभी इससे पहले हुआ नहीं था. So that's how we okay. So फिर वहां से धीरे धीरे we started putting online posts कि हाँ भाई हमको इतना इतना फंड चाहिए because we want to help migrant workers. At that time, migrant issue was one major issue that was bothering every non-profit organization or social organization. So then we like realized that power of crowdfunding. We got a huge amount of funds that we diverted to the help of migrant workers. So crowdfunding is one major part that we rely on. But now that we are working in diverse sectors, crowdfunding is not something that can might help us very in a very long time. So now we are looking for CSR funds also. So as of now, we have completed only 1 year post registration. So we are not getting direct CSR funds from the government or any such big foundation or company. But yes, there are a lot of small companies. I think you get it, like a small brands or a brand that is spread all across the state, or some textile business people, or the people from the business community. So they are indirectly sponsoring a lot of our programs. That's how. Also, when you ask that how do we manage such a diverse sector, so I am the director of this organization and I only supervise things. Okay, so we have got a huge base of volunteers, and the volunteers are such motivated that they have been like given a very free hand to handle the sector on their own. What I do is I only give them a roadmap. That's in the education sector. What you have to do is this: you will have to do in this particular way, and we have to reach here. Now आप बच्चों को कैसे एंगेज करेंगे, हाउ विल यू ब्रिंग सम मोर वॉलंटियर्स, हाउ विल यू टॉक टू द चिल्ड्रन, हाउ विल यू टॉक अंडरस्टैंड देयर इश्यूज, आप पेरेंट्स से कैसे बात करेंगे, दैट इज कंप्लीटली योर चॉइस. इफ यू नीड एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ गाइडेंस यू कैन कम टू मी, आई एम ऑलवेज अवेलेबल 24/7. बट एट द सेम टाइम आई एम नॉट, मतलब वो उंगली पकड़ के चलने वाला बात नहीं होगा. आई विल नॉट बी अवेलेबल टू गाइड यू each and every time. So you will have to take your own decisions. You will make some mistake. I understand. At that particular time, I will be guiding you from the back end, but not certainly every time from the front, because there are a lot of education centers where people don't know me. They know their education head. They know their coordinator. Whenever sometimes when I visit, they say, "ये कौन आ गया? Who is he? आप लोग क्यों उनको भैया भैया करके बात करो?" So that's how we manage all these things, because there are a lot of people who are involved in all these sectors. There are heads, there are coordinators, there are people like volunteers, executives, junior executives, senior executives. So what I do is I only prepare the roadmap for these people, and then they start working on that particular roadmap. Also, they provide a certain inputs where आप roadmap ये गलत कर रहे हो, like this needs some change, because they are the people who are working on the ground. So their inputs are really very critical. So we do have a lot of meetings also to modify the roadmap or to discuss the problems that are coming. So if there is some huge problem, like some big problem is there, so I always step in and try to solve the problem. So that's how we manage. And also, your question about people questioning. So this was something that is very fortunate with me, that people wish. Okay. Everyone from my friends and family, everyone supported this decision. They told me that you need to make sure that you have an alternate source of income for your livelihood. But at the same time, you can always proceed with this kind of initiative. We are with you. If anytime you need our help, we will be there to help you out. So definitely, I got the least amount of criticism that someone who starts in social organization in our country gets.
That is like very astonishing, and I'm very glad to hear the same. Sir, you also mentioned that you have been working on drug addiction in children, if I'm not
Right.
wrong.
Right.
So, like in today's world, I guess much of the audience who would have been watching us right now, they would believe and they would say that it is बच्चों में वो नहीं होता कि चलो ठीक है अब तो शराब ही है, अरे सेलिब्रेशन करना है, लेट्स हैव अ कप, लेट्स चीयर्स टू दिस. एंड उन्हें नहीं पता कि इससे वो अपनी जिंदगी कितना खराब कर रहे हैं. इवन आई गेस अगर कुछ साल पहले हमसे पूछा जाता हमें भी पता नहीं होता, बट वी आर फॉर्चुनेट इनफ विद द ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ गॉड. पर अगेन वही चीज आती है सर कि जो बच्चे हैं, मतलब उन्हें लगता है कि बहुत अच्छी चीज है, व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इज वेरी गुड, दे आर ड्रिंकिंग इट इज वेरी गुड, दे आर एंजॉइंग, क्योंकि इसे बहुत हाई लेवल का माना जाता है, वही हाई लेवल के होते हैं. इफ दे आर हैविंग ड्रग्स, दैट इज समथिंग ओनली विच बहुत ऊंचे लोग कैन परचेज, बिकॉज गरीबों की पहुंच में तो होता नहीं। तो सर आपने इस पे काम किया है। ये जो ये एंड दिस इज अ मेंटेलिटी व्हिच आई एम टेलिंग, व्हिच आई हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड, आई माइट बी रॉन्ग, इन अ very upper creamy layer.
Mhm.
And they're not like they're not educated, they're educated, they have brains, they know what is right and what is wrong, but sadly they're not able to understand ki this is not right. They consider it as a sense of pride, which is eventually leading to their depletion. Like going in clubs is a sign of pride. I think our generation was fortunate enough that we somehow escaped it, but
Right.
these today's youth is so much grabbed in it that it is very difficult for them to tell कि हाँ नहीं आप सो रहे हो, आप उठे नहीं हो, आप सपना देख रहे हो। तो
Right.
you have worked on it, so I would just want you to आपको क्या लगता है, आपने जो जो भी देखा है आप वो बताएं, ताकि जो भी बच्चे हमें देख रहे हैं they would get inspired a little.
So first of all, the only thing is that when you start working for a cause, see, the cause is not only social. Okay, any kind of cause can be there. So a kid is अगर वो 16 साल का है and he wants to work for a cause. So the very important thing we have heard it everywhere probably from the teachers, from the parents, from motivational speakers, and from everyone that you need to have a very certain and a very defined goal in life. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि where do you want to go. If you don't know where do you want to go, that's a really risky situation because you're going somewhere and you really don't know where do you want to go. आपको पता ही नहीं है आपको कहाँ जाना है. So the problem with today's youth is that they are hustling in every direction. Because they really don't have a certain goal defined in life. Because I've met a lot of youth for this volunteering activity and I see that they're really misguided. उनको यही नहीं पता होता कि where they want to go. If they are we usually go to Physics for our voluntary activities because they are our partner in CSR. So they have a student of age group from I believe 18 to 20 the maximum students. So when I talk to them, there are a lot of serious students in physics for IIT, JEE, and NEET. They want to become a doctor, they want to become an engineer. And when I ask them, कि, ठीक है, you will become a doctor, you will clear me, आप एक डॉक्टर बन जाओगे, you will be a very successful doctor, but what next? उसके बाद क्या? आप क्या करना चाहते? What do you want to do? And all they have to say is that right now they want to become a doctor. So this I would like to request the youth that this right now thing is something that really doesn't work in life. You will have to be very certain because we have seen this in interviews also. The company HR asks, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? Because they want to know your vision. How would you like to see yourself in like the next 5 years? So that is the issue because if you will always live in the present, the only problem will be that you won't be able to judge the impact of the activities that you're doing today in your future. And when you will be truly goal oriented, every activity, every action that you will take today will be for the ultimate goal that you will have to reach. So that's the point. That's the thing that the youth needs to understand. Also, in today's world, what we have seen that we are 90s kids. Okay, so in the 90s generation, our parents were a little too strict and also they were little too close to us. In today's world, what's happening is that parents are not that much attached to the kids. I've seen this. I've seen this in the slum only. I have not visited much of the household families for their active voluntary activities. I don't really know about that. But slum में भी हमको बताना पड़ता है कि your kid getting a formal education is actually very important. This is only for your good. ऐसा नहीं है कि it is only good for the children. बच्चे के लिए तो अच्छा है ही कि he is getting involved in a very formal manner and very formal education system. But at the same time, the parents need to be taught very clearly about what are the benefits of the education. So this is the problem. The parenting is one part. I believe parenting is less of a problem. The problem is that that today's youth needs to understand that you will have to be very goal oriented. If you will not be like that, the problem is that you will live in the present. And once you start living in the present, you think that today I'll do a certain kind of activity. I'll face the consequences today, and tomorrow will be a new beginning. That is never the case. Once you start drinking today, then you will have a habit of drinking again the next morning, the next morning, the next morning. After a few days, a few months, a few years, you will have certain health issues, and then it will ruin all of your life. So, drug is something which is, I believe that the one who is goal oriented usually stay away from all of these things. because उनके पास ना they have when you say ना नशा करने के लिए क्या होता है, then they have a lot of things जिनके लिए उनका नशा होता है, because according to me नशा is for my नशा is social work, working for a cause, working for things that when I see things changing on the ground, I believe that this is something that I want. This is something, this kind of pleasure is something that I won't get when I have a glass of wine. Even the highest quality of wine won't give me that kind of pleasure that I'm getting when I see a lot of changes in the ground according to us and for the activities that we have done. So the youth of our country needs to understand this thing.
Definitely, sir. And I guess, like in today's world, it is seemingly so difficult, not even for the children, but also for the parents to comprehend. Because even after, like they're doing everything wrong, they feel, yeah, ये तो normal है, ये तो करते ही हैं, सब करते ही हैं. So this normalization is actually hitting them. I am very glad to see that you have been working on the same. So, since you have worked a lot on the sector, so with like at last, with one last request to you, so what message do you want to give to youth, and what is your vision for your NGO further?
So the very direct and straight message to the youth is that see this country needs you. India is a youthful country. We have a very young population, and I believe that today the situation that we are in, that we are about to, we are already a kind of I'll not say a superpower, because superpower is something that comes with a lot of technical specifications. But yes, India is something that the world recognizes India as a growing power. We are certainly growing. We are growing day by day, second by second, and I don't really know what kind of contribution politicians or the government has in this particular India that is growing. But the youth has a lot of role to play in this growth story. So youth, you will have to get to the point very straight that India is in your hands. What you do today is something that you will see in India tomorrow. So, according to me, I'll align with the vision of our current Prime Minister that by 2047, we will have to make India a developed nation. And at the same time, today we are in 2023, so we do not have a lot of time left. So the youth of India needs to buckle up and then start practicing and work very hard for making India a truly developed nation by 2047. Because if we fail to do so, I really don't think so that we have always enjoyed, or we have totally taken advantage of the youth, I'll say youth factor that we have in India, because certain countries in the East doesn't have these kind of privileges that we enjoy having such a huge population of youth in our country. Our vision is to basically establish a equality in the society. So in today's world, what is there is a stark inequality, stark difference between the privileged community and the underprivileged community. The privileged community may have access to a lot of resources, but at the same time, the underprivileged community doesn't have access to the very basic resources that is needed to live a proper life. So we want to somehow, I understand that this vision will take a lot of time, maybe generations and generations of time to come. But at the same time, this and it will be a vision forever that we want to establish an equitable society where resources should be shared equally between everyone and should be accessible for all.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time from your such busy schedule for us. I would just like to mention that sir was quite busy, and like he had an event rolled up for 2nd of October for Gandhi Jayanti, and still he managed to get time for us. Along with it, we have been trying to get the from a few days, but
Right.
because of his unavailability, we were not able to. I hope so. This interview proves to be beneficial for everyone who watches us. Thank you again for coming over here and for sharing your valuable feedback. Thank you so much, sir.